1 hour until my stew is done. Sorry, I have 7 hours until my stew is done. It's 1 hour down. Welcome to Delegation of Dreamers. For today we have... I'm sorry, what was your name again?
I'm sorry. What is going on?
You're dreaming.
Yes, this is a normal dream.
Nothing suspicious at all.
Okay, I believe you, I guess.
So, just for your own dream's sake, what is your name?
Okay, I'm Dior Pallamir.
Welcome, Dior. Nice to have you.
Likewise, I suppose.
I apologize. We should probably notify you what's going on. We just want to ask you some simple questions about your quest, your life, your memories.
Is this about last week? Look, I swear it was an accident. All right. Look, I didn't really mean to say all that stuff. Am I in trouble?
Just tell us what happened, and you won't have to relive it.
Well, it's not exactly really a big deal, but no, I suppose not.
It's better if you're honest.
I know.
Don't worry, we'll let your realm take care of that. We just want to ask you some general questions about yourself.
Okay, fine.
Now, the first thing I want to ask is, you're a satyr, correct?
Yes, I am.
To my knowledge, satyrs don't have such pronounced canines or black and red eyes. How'd you go about getting those? It looks kind of like a curse.
Funny you should say that. It's also funny you should even ask. If this is a dream, you'd probably already know, right?
You're dreaming about people who doesn't know.
Oh, now you're making sense. Good job, me. Right, fair enough. Well, I suppose we can call it a curse in some ways. I call it a blessing.
How'd you go about getting it?
Through the taming.
What is the taming?
It's what I went through to set down my path as a blood hunter.
Can you explain what happened to you during the taming? What is the taming more specifically?
It's the process of merging myself with a second soul of a certain beast.
So it's like intercourse.
Well, never thought of it like that, actually.
I'm turning into Rue.
I have that effect on people.
It's true, he's a bad influence on you.
You said it was sort of a blessing. In what way?
Well, he protects me.
And how did you go about finding this soul of another beast? How does the merging itself work? Do you just say, hey, hop in here?
Not exactly. This soul was, kept in my family's, storerooms for quite some time in a long-forgotten artifact. Kind of ashamed to admit that, actually.
What sort of artifacts?
It's a simple chain necklace with a wolf's head on it.
And can I ask, does the other soul have a name?
Loki.
Bit of an odd name for a random beast.
He's been through a lot.
You said that you're a blood hunter, right? Can you tell me, what is a blood hunter, or what do they do? What do they specialize in?
My blood hunter clan specifically specializes in keeping extraplanar activities specifically to the Feywild. It's what my family's been doing for generations. Family and clan, that is. We started it and we sort of grew our influence.
The Feywild. Such fond memories.
Oh, you've been there?
I was born in a Feywild.
Oh, same!
It's quite a pleasant place if you know how not to get devoured by some of the more unsavory beasts, or Get enough sunlight if you're a plant.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
And are you currently working there, or are you on a different quest right now?
I'm stationed usually in the material plane.
See, I see.
Are you just sitting there waiting, or are you doing anything? Any particular goals or quests that you're currently doing?
Well, orders come through every day. It's kind of manic in some ways, but I keep on top of things. And the family's very proud of what I do.
Could you walk us through one of your missions?
I was told I needed to bring a dusk hag once.
A dust bag.
Dusk hag.
Us tag.
Dusk hag.
Yes, a hag of the dusk variety.
Ah. And did anyone join you on that quest, or was that a solo?
I ended up having to hire a bunch of other adventurers, I suppose. But the honor of bringing her in was mine entirely.
Can you tell us some about the adventurers that you've worked with, that you've hired, that maybe have hired you?
I could. One that stood out to me, I suppose, was a changeling. Actually, he was quite an oddball. He had this cape that had so many feathers on it and many colors. It was quite mesmerizing.
This changeling was beneficial in this mission.
From what I heard, he was quite the loudmouth, and he was supposed to be this stealthy part of the gang. But I won't complain with results. They did, in fact, bring the hag to me.
Why did the person hiring you need the hag?
She was a criminal, obviously. I had to bring her in to essentially judge her efficiently.
What sort of crimes did she commit?
Well, what didn't she commit is the question.
Well, it doesn't sound like a law enforcer. It sounds more like you're just hunting people for the sake of it.
Maybe I do, maybe I don't.
And did you convict her?
She was tried and sentenced.
What was she tried for, and what did you sentence her to?
Can't quite remember the details of the actual charges, but I believe it had something to do with possession of mines and wanton destruction.
Bringing people in, bringing the criminals to justice, was that your own personal goal, or is that just something you're doing to pass the time, or maybe part of the family lineage?
Oh no, it's something that the whole clan has a part in.
And what about you?
What about me? I help as much as I can. I get the orders and I carry them out.
Sorry, my question, to be a bit more blunt, is what are your goals and aspirations? I'm assuming you don't want to just hunt people down for all of eternity.
Of course not. Of course not. My own personal goal is just to live a happy life.
That's admirable.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hope so. It's hard with my, I suppose you can call it condition.
Well, speaking of a happy life, this is a bit personal, but how many people have you did the do with?
Where do I start?
That's true.
Let's just say I was very promiscuous in my younger days.
You dog.
More than you know.
Is there anyone special that caught your eye out of all of those people, or?
No, there were a number, yes. But I suppose I did end up settling down with a singular person. Never thought I would end up with a one-man relationship, honestly.
Ah, monogamy.
Can you tell us a bit about him?
His name is Ceres. He's a big yellow-furred furbolg with tiny cow horns under his head. and his head of hair. He's so wonderful.
He sounds adorable.
He really is. He's such a sweetheart.
How did you two meet?
I sort of spied him coming into the city I was posted at one day, and I showed him to the inn. He didn't pick up any of the signs, but I eventually got a bit more blunt, and he caught on. Wasn't supposed to be anything major at the time, but I really did fall for him.
Does he know about the second soul, Loki?
Yes, he does. Him and Loki get along very well.
Good to hear. You always want your mate to accept every part of you, even if it's a different soul.
Exactly. It's still my body, and in the meantime, just a lot bigger and slightly more feral looking. But he's still good. He's not a monster, is what I'm trying to say. He's not.
So what is he?
He's just Loki.
I guess we can all say that about ourselves.
Yeah.
Have you been on adventures with him?
Depends what you mean.
Does he have the same type of occupation?
No, he's actually a monk. Came from a monastery far off. He sort of traveled on a pilgrimage to find himself, essentially.
Monks are usually quite the wise ones. Would you say that he is quite wise?
I'd say so, yes. Maybe a bit slow to pick up on some cues, but he's certainly a font of wisdom.
Would you care to tell us a little bit about your realm? You said you were from a Feywild. Did the Feywild have any name? Can you tell us anything about it?
I was born and raised in the Howling Forest on the edge of autumn.
On the edge of awesome?
Autumn.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes, well, the Feywild where I come from is split into the 4 seasons, you see.
oh, okay, that's interesting. Any history on how that came to be? Or was it always like that when the Feywilds began?
I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I'm sure the Queen could.
The Feywilds that I am from are also split in 4 seasons. I am from the edge of spring and summer.
I hear that's quite lovely.
It is lovely, but some of the monsters that encroach on the lands are less than desirable.
We get that a lot with because we're also on the edge of winter, sort of, but they don't come across as often. But they do try. We always manage to beat them back.
And I don't even know which season it is. I haven't left the cave in months.
Wow, this is a very elaborate dream I'm making.
Indeed, you are quite the inventive person.
You said that you were stationed in the material world. Which realm was that?
The realm of Draconis.
And is there a lot of satyrs?
I met a couple. Very, very accommodating, all of them.
Oh my.
No, not like that. Come on.
Now you're turning into Rue.
Yeah, I know, he's a bad influence.
Apart from satyrs, what other races are there?
Oh, all kinds. There were many elves, particularly in my place. There was some tieflings. I think I might have seen a few warforged running around at points. It was very diverse, I suppose. I suppose it was almost like one of every species, if you can call us that.
Did you see anyone quite like me? Or am I just something that you made up entirely?
I can't remember. If it was important, I'd probably remember, right?
Well, they say that you remember things that are important, but I feel that sometimes that even the most important things can be forgotten.
Isn't that the truth?
Now, out of curiosity, going back to your career, what weapon do you normally specialize in order to bring in criminals?
I personally specialize in the scimitar.
Now, are you self-taught or did you have a teacher or sensei?
Oh, my family gave me extensive training. I found a special affinity with my scimitar. It's very easy to wield, very flippy and dippy.
And or dip.
Since you're stationed in a different realm, I'm assuming it's not 24/7 hunting down criminals. How do you normally pass your time?
I usually pass my time in the city itself. Sometimes I just play the viol for hours and give the people a little music to lighten the mood. Sometimes I go into a tavern and stare at the alcohol because I can't drink anymore.
What's that?
If I get too drunk, Loki tries to make his way out, and you know how werewolves and such are in cities.
Werewolf in the City. A common story.
It's happened once before, and I don't care to have that repeat.
How long have you been playing the viol?
Since 60 years ago.
You don't look a day over 40.
Oh, you flatterer! I'll have you know that I'm actually nearly 90.
I have a question. Do you know about the delicacy known as shaken milk?
Oh no, not again.
Huh?
I believe the actual name for it is a milkshake, but it sounds so much better when you just call it what it is, which is shaken milk.
You have stumped me. What on...
Well, from what I understand, it is a mixture of frozen dairy product and some unfrozen dairy product mixed together to a smooth and thick mixture. Usually the frozen dairy product is flavored with something, maybe strawberry, or what's the other flavor? Chocolate. Maybe vanilla.
Maybe meat? Like beef?
No. Those, I've been told those are not part of it.
Beef milkshake. Or goat.
I believe it's flavored with usually crushed up things such as vanilla or pureed things such as strawberry, finely chopped, finely crushed.
It sounds divine. Where do I get some?
That is what I have been asking. I am not sure where in places they are. After all, I don't have all that much information. Maybe you're making it up as we speak.
Why am I doing this to myself?
Very odd dreams. People tend to have them from time to time.
Yes, I suppose so.
Now, being a blood hunter, bringing people in, by doing so, have you gotten any enemies that you'd say anything significant when it comes to people who hate you, people who've been hunting you as well?
I have had some minor incidents where Loki was mistaken for a dire wolf at times. Before he was properly tamed, as it were, he was a lot more savage, and he didn't show mercy.
But you are more merciful.
When I can take control, yes.
Do you still lose control to Loki?
Nowadays, willingly. He's really become so much better.
Tell us a bit about your family. What are they like?
My family is wonderful to me. I'm their little scion, after all.
Any siblings?
3.
Are you the youngest?
I am, yes.
But what do you mean that you're the scion?
Well, I'm one of the scions, essentially, but I'm basically a big deal according to my family. I try not to let it get to my head, obviously. I have been known to use my family's name to get a few freebies every now and then.
What is a scion?
No, I never actually asked what that is. I should have asked, but...
Maybe something to ask when you wake up.
Yeah. This has become very emotional for me suddenly. All these personal questions, it's...
Your mind has questions.
It's like finding myself, isn't it?
Finding yourself?
That's what this is like, isn't it?
Oh yeah, but I mean more like, what is your achievement? What are you the most proud of?
Saving someone's life.
Would you tell us about that?
Yeah, okay. I was told one day that a young star elf was kidnapped, and I was brought in to help bring them back. They found a big statue, very obviously booby-trapped, and me being me, I set it off. Hardly took anything from it, and passageway underneath the statue was opened. It was almost like a labyrinth in a way, but admittedly very easy.
Who was it that kidnapped them?
It was the Star Elf's wife's sister. She was a drow. She was looking for power, and she thought that kidnapping the wife of her sister who deserted the underground, and would bring her some modicum of power. And well, it certainly did something.
Was the star elf someone important? Like,
To the wife, yes.
did they have some sort of position with the royal family, or was it someone important in a social way?
I believe they were important in the Feywild as well. I think they were another family of blade singers. I believe it was. Yes, blade singers.
I don't recall that profession. What is a blade singer?
I believe it's quite new in some circles. It's basically a sword-wielding wizard. They literally sing and become more powerful as they fight.
Like a Viking chant?
I suppose so.
Did you manage to rescue the star elf?
Yes, we did, but I wasn't there to see it because I died during it.
You died?
She just whispered a word into my ear and didn't know anything had happened until I was thankfully revived by Paladin John Keel. He was there to bring me back.
The paladin junkie.
John Keel's. He was a literal shining beacon for that day. And I'm not saying that because he literally did shine. Like, his whole body shone with lights. You couldn't do anything stealthy with him around.
He sounds like a character.
He was the most formal guardsman you could ever meet. I'm so glad he took his job seriously because I don't think anyone else would have tried to help.
Did the rest of your party manage to defeat this drow, or were you with them during the encounter?
They did. I was very instrumental in helping until I was taken out of the equation, but they did bring her down and saved the elf.
What do you get in return for saving them, considering you lost your life at one point?
I was well compensated with gold and items, but I don't know if it was enough.
You should ask for a raise.
Agreed.
Well, yeah.
I must ask, do you know who... Somebody has let the dogs out. Do you know who it was?
Who?
Who?
Yes, I'm trying to figure out who let the dogs out.
Who?
Rue.
It's not that important, I suppose.
Throughout your journeys, throughout your arrests and everything, there's got to be some interesting items that you found along your way.
Yes, yeah, there have been items and such that I've found useful over the years. Times. I can't keep track of the time.
Are there any that you use on a normal basis?
My old alchemist set. I use that sometimes.
And how did you come across that?
It's a gift, birthday gift.
From your husband?
No, from my family, my mother actually. I use it to create sticky fire grenades. Sometimes I dabble in healing potions, but usually it's the fire grenades.
Oh, I bet those could be fun.
Oh, they are. when they hit, they can be very fun.
Is it normal for blood hunters to use fire grenades?
From what I know, they can use all kinds of useful combative potions and alchemy ingredients.
All right, good to hear. All right,
Yeah.
well, we thank you for joining us on Delegation of Dreamers, and I hope you have a pleasant rest.
Thank you. Thank you for being my questioners, I suppose.
You're welcome for us being your dream. That's what a dream sounds like.
I believe you.
So long, my friend.
We just want to give a giant thank you to Big Tricks for interviewing with us, to Stereo Radio VA for the intro, Sayed Sounds for the intro music, Azio Mecha for character art, and Azio for our amazing logo. We deeply appreciate what you guys have done for us and putting up with all of our requests. We couldn't have done it without you. Links to their items are listed in the description. And to you, our viewer, for listening until the end and allowing us to do this for you. We will be back next Saturday with another interview. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to list them below and we will do our best to answer them at the end of the next interview. Until then, have a good awakening.